Welcome to the session. We were studying the book Beyond the Mind. We had gone up to the last sutra on page 24 the last time. अगर आपने पिछला सेशन या पिछले सेशंस नहीं अटेंड किए हैं, if you missed some of the sessions before, all the recordings are available. During this meeting, we will post the links. You may please save them and use them to access them. Hmm? All right, so the last sutra on page 24. Certain breathing exercises. Are you there? Yeah, I hope you are there. Okay, certain breathing exercises physically purify the body and psychologically purify the soul. Breathing exercises regulate your emotions and your thoughts. Breathing increases your overall energy level. Some breathing exercises, when practiced properly, upgrade the quality of the brain. So, this section, now I mean this and the next few sutras, this is going to, they here Master is going to talk about the importance and the benefits of pranayam, breathing exercises. And if you are a pranic healer, if you are an arhatic practitioner, you already know how much importance Master gives to the breathing exercises. Correct? Right from your first class in pranic healing, the basic class or the soul class, Master has been after us to teach us breathing exercises. And now he's telling us why he has taught us all that. So, number one, purification. Number two, regulation of emotions and thoughts. Regulation means control. Like a fan, that you can control the speed through the regulator of the phone or of the fan. Yeah. So, similarly, you are getting control over your emotions. Usually, the problem is that our mind races, but with breathing, we are able to attain a certain degree of control over our thoughts and emotions. Now, the last line, very unique. Some breathing exercises, when practiced properly, upgrade the quality of the brain. Now, what does it mean, quality of the brain? The brain is what? It's composed of cells, tissue and cells. So those cells and tissues get upgraded. What is the benefit? Now we can understand deeper truths. We are able to experience or register higher spiritual experiences. So it becomes like a virtuous cycle. You've heard of vicious cycle. Now think of creating a virtuous cycle. As you do your practices, your brain becomes more refined. As your brain is more refined, you have more, you register spiritual experiences that motivates you to do more. And, that is how it becomes a very virtuous cycle like that. You see, pranayam is taught almost universally. Almost universally. I mean, I can't think of any school, spiritual school, which does not, in some way or the other, incorporate breathing exercises, pranayam. And in India, of course, every school or every teaching or every practice usually has pranayam as an important part. Pranayam. Prana, ayam. Prana is refers to the breath, and ayam is referring to the control or regulation. Now, if one were to look at starting from the basics, what Master has taught us about breathing correctly and properly. The first thing he has taught us, and this is again universally taught, universally accepted, even by the medical fraternity, that correct breathing means abdominal breathing. What does it mean? When you inhale, your abdomen must expand. When you exhale, the abdomen must collapse. Yes? Otherwise, what we will do is chest breathing. So chest breathing is taught to be the not the correct way. So how do you do chest breathing? When I inhale, my chest expands. So abdominal breathing, You can't see it, but when I inhale, my abdomen has expanded. When you exhale, the abdomen collapses. It is related to the diaphragm. Actually, Master has explained it in the basic pranic healing book. Otherwise, just look it up on, just Google abdominal breathing versus chest breathing. Yeah. The second great thing that Master has explained, and these are simple things that he has taught us. What is the first one? Abdominal breathing. Breathe with the abdomen, not with the chest. Second thing, four, the breathing comprises four steps or four stages. Inhalation, pause or a gap. So inhale and then don't exhale directly. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Now, the pauses, especially the pause after the exhalation, is what makes breathing very, very powerful. And when you are able to, you remember 71716363, by changing the ratios of the four steps, we are able to have different types of pranayam, different functions, different benefits. So, but the key is to remember what is the principle is given. Breathing comprises four steps, and each step is important. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. And then when we go into Arhatic Yoga, Master has, actually, even before Arhatic Yoga, in the soul class, if you have done the soul class, Master has taught the balancing breathing. And he's explained, if you are aware of the Sushumna, the Ida, the Pingla, so all those get purified and Kundalini energy is able to rise up. Actually, that is what causes the upgradation of the brain. That Master talk when upgrades the quality of the brain. What upgrades the quality of the brain? Properly done pranayam, balancing breathing, allows Kundalini, it cleanses the channels so that Kundalini energy is able to rise up. Where is it located? Base of the spine. So it rises up and goes to the brain. That is the great teaching of the image of Lord Ganesha, the elephant head. Why the elephant head? The energy has gone from the base of the spine, and the head areas, the chakras in the head are massive, huge. So uh, this becomes enabled by proper breathing. And also, of course, the aura expands. Another benefit Master has talked about in the soul book, the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul book, that doing balancing breathing properly greatly expands your aura. Yeah. And then in Arhatic Yoga, there are more forms of breathing exercise or more kinds of breathing exercises, and each has its own method, each has its own function or benefit. So you do them for different reasons. So there are, outside of Master Choa school also, there are many, many, many forms of breathing exercises. It's fine to try them out, but try them out, experiment with them after first understanding them. Understand the purpose, understand the method, understand the do's and don'ts, understand the limitations. So for example, some people, one popular yogi in India, he's been on TV and he has been teaching some particular breathing exercises, and people have been doing them for hours. And that causes problems there. It increases their blood pressure, for example. Another precaution, don't mix different practices. In India, there is a popular dish called a khichdi, where we take different ingredients and put them together in a pot and cook them together. Don't make a khichdi of different techniques. Don't mix up different techniques. Each technique is fine by itself. Like, for example, when Master teaches us pranayam, breathing exercises, we are required to connect tongue to palate. And because of that, we do it for a short period. For example, if you do balancing breathing, it's a total of 7 times, not more than 7 times, 7 cycles. If you do normal pranic breathing without, not balancing breathing, but just say 6-3, 6-3, you're supposed to do it for only a few minutes. If you do it for an hour with tongue connected, or you do some other teacher's breathing practice and he is not taught you to connect tongue, but you connect tongue to palate, you can end up with problems. So just be careful. Yeah. And of course, if you know scanning, you can see when I do this pranayam, what happens to my body, what happens to my aura, what happens to my chakras. Yeah, you can do that. All right, let's move on. We are on page 25, the first sutra. Proper breathing gives you calmness and stillness emotionally and mentally. Through right breathing exercises, you may achieve effortless inner calmness. So, isn't this a great, great gift from Master Choa? He is giving us a method of effortlessly achieving inner calmness. Yeah. So, Master's techniques or the practices he has given us, they are very quick, very, fast results. You don't need to, practice for years before you start seeing some results. Now, for example, since we are talking about calmness here, again in the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul book, the book I'm talking about, Master has in chapter 9, please read chapter 9 of this book. There are excellent techniques to still the mind. And the beauty is they work in short time. You don't have to sit and make an effort for days or months or years before you start getting results. No, I'm telling you, try it. Just try them. Master has talked about 2 or 3 different techniques to make the mind silent. Try them. You will see that they are very quick in giving results. And of course, when you go to the Arhatic Yoga workshop, more techniques are taught. Yeah. And one of the keys that Master has given is that, again, you remember we talked about the 4 stages of breathing: inhalation, the gap; exhalation, the gap. So the how should I say, the effect of stilling the mind, calming the mind, is connected to our having awareness in the gap, taking our awareness or being aware of the gap. Yeah, more details, because this is not a practice, or this is not a workshop where we will practice this. I suggest you take a look at the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul chapter 9, and then if you want, we can do a separate session where we can practice that. It's really very effective, really very powerful. And when you go to the Arhatic workshop, yes, you will come across more of them. By the way, there are 2 excellent books that I can suggest to you. I will just put these books up on the screen. If you want, you can take a screenshot. These are 2 excellent books that you can read. They are in some ways or the other both related to breathing. Not very heavy books and not very, thick books. They are slim books. The first one, this Hindu Yogi Science of Breath, this is many, many, many yogic breathing techniques. And all of us, I think, are aspiring to be yogis. Yes. So ये अपने एक बहुत काम की चीज, इसको पढ़िए, थोड़ा थोड़ा एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हैं. The second book, The Vigyan Bhairav, this is where the secret of the gap is explained or discussed. Okay. So if you are interested, just take a screenshot. Later you can get the book. If you want help with ordering the book, just let us know and then we will try to help you. Okay. All right. Let's come back to our next sutra. Proper breathing gives you calmness. Oh, sorry. Through proper breathing exercises, the body becomes highly charged with life energy or prana. So this is where we come across, pranayam for the first time. When we come into master school, whether you're doing the basic class first or you're doing the soul class first, the first instance of master telling us about the pranayam is because it's a technique to expand the aura, to fill the aura with new prana, with fresh prana. So that's why we learned that, abdominal breathing. Then we learned 7171. Then we learned the 6363. For example, if you're doing the pranic healing course first. Yeah. And even more powerful is the balancing breathing exercise. More powerful, more it gives you aura. The expansion of the aura is much more than in the normal pranic breathing. You understand pranic breathing, I hope, correct? I hope you don't. All of us are pranic healers, and we understand what pranic healing is. Okay, shall we move on? Now, the beginning of a new section, and this is a very interesting section because it talks about Kundalini energy. Now, Master Choa is one of the, how should I put it? You see, in the Indian systems, there are specific schools that talk about Kundalini, and all the others don't talk about Kundalini. And certainly, they do not teach any methods to activate the Kundalini or to open the Kundalini or to, you know, or to manipulate the Kundalini energy. But Master Choa, he has incorporated the knowledge of Kundalini into his all his spiritual practices. What is Kundalini energy? A very quick, maybe I'm not 100% accurate when I say this, but to me, Kundalini energy is the energy of evolution. You see, you are aware in this world, law of evolution applies. Are you aware? I mean, even science accepts that the world is evolving. Yes, Charles Darwin many years ago gave the theory of evolution, and that is now by and large accepted that yes, everything is evolving. Now, if everything is evolving, there must be a force that is forcing or that is causing this evolution or that is supporting this. Otherwise, why will, some block of stone which is lying on the roadside, why should it evolve? It doesn't have much consciousness. Why is it evolving? There must be some force or energy that is forcing this process of evolution. And this is my belief, that is Kundalini energy. It is the energy of evolution, the force of evolution, the force of growth. It causes growth. So it greatly accelerates spiritual development, but it can also make the weaknesses stronger and it can cause the downfall. I think on the previous page, in the previous session, if you look at the second last sutra, on page 24, if a spiritual practitioner does not do inner purification thoroughly, so there it can also cause spiritual downfall. It may cause us to, we had talked about the path of spiritual development being like a ladder. So you may have to go back many steps if your kundalini rises, but sufficient purification is not being done. Because what master has explained in some of the books, that as the Kundalini rises, it evolves, it strengthens, it grows everything. So your chakras will become stronger, your strengths, your character strengths will become stronger, but also your character flaws. And then they can cause your downfall. Yeah, they can cause you to make blunders. All right, let's move on. So, coming back to the sutra, the purpose of awakening Kundalini energy and how do we awaken the Kundalini energy? We do spiritual practices. Actually, this is how Master has explained. The story of the sleeping beauty, and then the Prince Charming comes and kisses her, and then she wakens. So, Master has usually has used that story to explain how this happens. So the Kundalini is like the sleeping beauty lying at the base of the spine. And divine energy is the Prince Charming that comes down through the crown, descends, and awakens the Kundalini, and then they rise up together. So something like that. So through the Sushumna, the central energy meridian, and as it rises up, it vivifies or energizes all the chakras. You see, you are aware that all the chakras have roots on the Sushumna. So as this energy goes up, it activates or strengthens or energizes all the different chakras. Okay. Shall we read on? Evolution of the soul must be accompanied by the evolution of the body. Just as the evolution of a computer software must be accompanied by the evolution of a computer hardware. We cannot use the latest program on a computer that is 10 years old. They are not compatible. So, this again is a great teaching which we get from Theosophy and from Master, that in the divine plan, not only the spirit or the soul is to evolve, even matter has to evolve. Yeah. So, and that is where humanity comes into play. It is for humanity to ensure that it is, of course, engaged in evolving its soul or its spirit, but also it has to do it through interaction with matter. And as we do that, matter also evolves. So that is sort of, you can say, one way of looking at the divine plan. And I hope you are able to understand the example that Master has given here. You see, he's talked about computers, but today I think more easier to relate to phones. So I have a old phone, 10-year-old phone, and I want it to run the latest version of Android or iOS. Can't do that. The hardware is not sufficient. So what Master is telling us is that not only will Android version, but as Android version evolves, the phone hardware must also evolve. Similarly, as the soul evolves, the body, especially the brain, must also evolve. And that is what is achieved through the rising of the Kundalini. That is why it is important for the Kundalini to be awakened. Because as the Kundalini energy rises, it ensures or it causes the physical body, especially the brain, to evolve. And we've talked about it. What does it mean to evolve? The particles become more refined. Yeah? Okay. Shall we move on? Page 26. The Lord's Prayer is the science of awakening the chakras. Now, the Lord's Prayer, it's an ancient. I don't know if you're okay. Let me put it up on screen so you can, at least if you're not aware of what it is, you can read it. So this is a prayer that many of us may have done in school, especially if you studied in a missionary school. Our Father who art in heaven, holy be thy name, thy kingdom come, all the way up to Amen. So this is a ancient Christian prayer. It is believed that it was given to the world by Christ himself. That Christ used to lead his people in this prayer. Now, Master has worked on it, and he has I don't know if he discovered it or invented it, but Master has told us कि ये एक meditation है. It is a process. It is a technique of using divine energy to awaken the Kundalini, to cleanse, energize, balance the chakras. It incorporates various energy connections and transmutations. It is a particular, so each line corresponds to a chakra. So, for example, our Father, it corresponds to the crown chakra. Thy kingdom come, corresponds to the heart chakra, and so on and so forth. I won't go into the details. By the way, the version that Master uses, that has another line before Amen. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. That line is missing here. So there is a book that Master has written, which is centered around this prayer. I would invite you. There is a course also, so you can do the course. You can, so that will give you a full and detailed explanation. I really enjoy I mean, not enjoy, but I really like doing this meditation. It works very well for me, and I do it actually quite often. So I invite you find out about it. If you remember, some of you may have attended in one of the sessions, book study session. After the session, we had done this meditation.
Yes, yes.
So, ji. And we can do it again if you are interested. We can, or even today, if you are interested in that, we can do that after the session. Okay, let's do one more sutra before time is over. Baby arhats have a full 49 degrees of Kundalini awakening. Their intuition is partially to fully developed. The soul reaches a high degree of maturity. The incarnated soul and the higher soul are united. Arhats must generate lots of good karma. Even baby arhats have to produce results. You may be aware, arhat is a Buddhist term. It's a word in the Pali language, where Lord Buddha lived and taught and so on. So it means a respectable person, but really what it means to us is a person who is fully soul realized. You know what we call in the Indian system, we call a Paramahansa, who has attained moksha, who has no need for reincarnation. All possible spiritual development that was possible on earth is done. So now that person doesn't need to, spend time on earth. Now, baby arhat is a term that Master Choa has used. It means that the person is, as compared to ordinary people like all of us, that person is highly evolved, but not quite an arhat, not quite Paramahansa. Still needs to incarnate, still some spiritual progress remains to be done. So, what Master is saying is that such people also need to do karma. They are not free from the cycle of karma, they still have to do. And when Master talks about the 49 degrees of Kundalini awakening, it is, you see, something like this. The Kundalini apparently has many layers, you know, and each layer has many sub layers. So apparently there are 7 layers, each layer having 7 sub layers. So 7 multiplied by 7, 49 sub layers. Now, a fully developed soul, completely developed soul, it means the sign of that such a person is all 49 layers are fully opened. It's like, think of a of a of the petals of a flower. So each petal is fully open. And how do petals open? As we progress, as we learn lessons. Every lesson, major important lesson we learn in life, one sorry, not here, but in the Kundalini, one petal will open. And total of 49 major lessons need to be learned. All right. I think we can stop here for today.